Hello. I've decided to put on my jacket, the loudest down jacket, to start my stream. Alright, perfect. Surprise! Let's see, let's get this in here, and... Actually, I'll make sure that this is alright. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. All's good. Let me move that over here. And I want to get some music going as well. Let's see what I actually have. Oh, music's already playing. Okay, good. Alright, let's get into it. So, basically, I have some drawings that are from a sketchbook that I'm going to be basing off. Let's look at this copy image and paste this image. There we go. Something like this. For the Paladin and Cleric. I had a hard time. I always do. One session in, really accepting what a lot of people demand for a certain archetype of class. When I've come in my previous, well, with my life of knowledge that says, hey, do it like you normally do it, or these are the things that make sense. So I have to really push against those sometimes. And usually what ends up happening is I'll explore something one session, and then I'll really dive in if I'm unhappy with it. But what happened? What did I hate about it? What was I struggling with? That sort of thing. So it's like struggle really helps me. It's happened multiple times, I think, on this project. Definitely to be expected, though. Not at all mad by it. Just part of the process. And once I'm further into this, what I'll do is I'll go into some of the design decisions that are going through my head on these two, because there's a couple of things that I'm really happy with. Actually, you know what? I think this is going on YouTube, so I'll just mention it as I go. Trying to figure out, because the main similarities between the Paladin and Cleric, plate wears, religious motifs, both of them. But they were very distinct in a lot of people's minds. So like while the Paladin is a plate wearer, and the Cleric's a plate wearer, you know, I'd really fought against that the first session in my head. Like he seems like more of a cloth wearer, and not only that, like I think kind of priest. But then okay, no, that's just wrong in a lot of people's minds. Okay, what about male? Could that be the difference? Can he be like? Because I just thought it was too close. But what ends up happening, or what ended up happening, was I really took a look at what are the differences between them, like why a paladin is a paladin, why a cleric is a cleric, and I came up with a couple things. Clerics are devout followers of a certain religion, and paladins are more like the hand of God, you know, themselves. So it's like they are like more chosen, let's say, than the cleric. So one knows, like, let's say what it means to study and sacrifice, you know, and the other again more like Arthur, I guess. And so, and another major difference, huge difference actually, is obviously spellcaster. Cleric's a spellcaster, and with a little bit of melee, the blunt weapons, and then paladins mostly melee with a bunch, or with like some different types of spells. So it's about 80-20. That sort of rule where you're like, well, it's about 80% spell casting, 20% melee, and then vice versa. 80% melee, 20% spell casting. And so as far as the design goes, I wanted to portray that, at least I think a little bit, with how I designed and put in cloth. So that's the direction that I'm going, is basing the paladin more in the plate aesthetic. They're still plate, and both of them are still plate, but basing it more off of the plate aesthetic, kind of like a holy knight sort of thing, than than someone who hangs out and reads and writes all day. Let's see. So we have the cleric over here. Let me throw this up. Yeah, there we go. We have this guy. He has this cape, which is going to be super integral to his design. His cloak. He has this plume. Like this will probably end up being some sort of cloth. we might push it to not cloth. And you can tell, like, right away, as soon as you add in this cape, he starts to really look like a paladin. So this is it's about 80% armor, 20% cloth. And this guy's 20% armor, 80% cloth. But it doesn't mean that there's not plate underneath. There's definitely going to be plate underneath. It's just the aesthetic of like his robes and religion and everything, showcasing that's something that I was also thinking about, is he's able to like showcase the deity on his, via the colors that he wears, or through the motifs on his cloth or something like that. So there's options here to really represent and sell his religion, versus this guy's definitely more action. The Paladin, I mean. Once we get into it, I'll also be talking a little bit about color, because I was looking at, and what I think, and I don't know if this is going to be the right decision. I don't think anybody knows when they do it, but what I'm probably going to do is really double down on the Holy Knight archetype and see what I can do about getting some more golden armor in, or at least you know, really shiny armor, and then a little bit of yellow hinted in there at least throughout, so you won't be wearing being a paladin and having like normal steel or something. You know, he's always, you know, that knight in shining armor. And let's do something like this. I'm unsure about this this element right here. I kind of like this instead. His legs are actually quite long, so I think I'm going to extend his torso to make up for it. There we go. Double checking your proportions all the time is usually a good thing. I think if we do decals and stuff like that, they'll be, or not decals, intaglios, or little designs and stuff on their armor. It's gonna be fun, because we're probably gonna look into how each religion is portrayed in that the paladins can represent, and then come up with some iconography based off of that. So there's like in-world, like, you know, pieces or whatever that represent a certain religion. That would be really cool. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, so for color, with this paladin, you know, he's gonna be repping the gold, and then, you know, like an accent color or something for the plume, and that's where you're gonna have lots of creativity with your paladin, is or not creativity, but that's where you're gonna get the most variation, I think, is plumes, these wings for the side helmet. Actually, I'm kind of want to bring those down, to be honest. A little bit too big on the sides. They're supposed to be there, not be too. Yeah, there we go. Feels more. Maybe not. Like that. Sure. The cape. In his crotch area. Your sword. That sort of thing. That's where you're going to get the customization on your Paladin. I think, at least. These are just, you know, they're just my thoughts, basically. Now for color on the cleric, you're gonna get something quite the opposite, I'd imagine, where it's like you have your cloth always being something of a brighter white, or sorry, not brighter white. Your cloth, no, it's not the opposite. It's just gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be like tangential. So like the armor is gonna be kind of gray plate, I think, somewhere around the gray plate area. We're gonna reserve that for the Paladin a little bit. And of course they'll be able to wear any plate Paladin armor. So players will inevitably be able to mix and match. But these are just the covering your bases, so like you can have like this distinction that is designed for in like sets and stuff like that. I actually don't know if we're doing much of sets, but alright, so we got that, and I was thinking grayish armor, and then the robes are where you're going to be able to choose more of your color. Maybe we even might just do like white plus and then the trim or something, so it'll be gray, white or yellow or something like that with a trim, and that trim is where you're going to be able to have more of your fun. That's to keep these guys from just having like, I mean, they might actually look pretty badass if you just have like whatever color, like say your robes are red or something. But it's kind of cool, but don't quite know yet. Alright, let's move that guy. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. He looks pretty Paladin-like. And then we're going to take the motif that we had for the hood here, which was this kind of like a white mage, Final Fantasy white mage-ish, but not quite. They're very cartoony in comparison, but this rounded part I like, and then being able to reference that throughout the design. Just something kind of like a shape that is representative of like a spellcaster, and isn't taken by other archetypes. So like, for example, like the what's it called? The Necromancer has something similar to like this, where they're like super spiky or something. This is Warhammer, Warhammer Gobos. But for this, we get this nice rounded appealing sort of motif, shape motif. By the way, the me like covering their faces or whatever, it's not because I getting into like a face too much might be like the bad idea or a bad idea. Even now I'm kind of like, wait, hold on, I just want to get the general gist of like a hooded guy, not get into who this hooded guy is. Yeah, something like this. I played around with making this this part insanely wild, like, you know, having like a book on it or something, but ultimately I don't think that's plausible. I mean, we'd have to that, well, I mean, I guess we'd have then a slot to play with everybody else, but like something on like a hinge or something right here that can go like that. That'd be super cool, but it's like another element of extra work. I wonder if he had like a, no, too much. What I really am looking forward to is, so like I'm designing these class, what's it called? Like these class shapes, right? What I'm really excited for is when these class shapes start to interact pretty heavily with the race, race designs and race shapes, like so like this has a cloak, right? And we have this cloak and it looks pretty like cleric-y. But then you apply that cloak to the way that the cloak falls on, say like a gnome or something, like a gnome female. It's gonna look really cool. And it's gonna totally fit the gnome. And then you have like basically this racial variation of what a paladin can look like. And that's super cool. And someone says, oh, like this race class combo looks really cool. and like really really meshes with someone's idea of what that rate or what that class is or what that race is, that's going to be super rewarding, I think. I have to play around with that. I'm unsure about that shape. Just get rid of it. Yeah, painting this is gonna be a heck of a blast. Something like this. Yeah. Now, let's what was that? Oh yeah, that was the dancer. Okay. And we have these Paladin and Cleric. Takes, let me size these up. Probably a little bit. Maybe about there. I might need to do that size up here and change it to smooth. Something like this. Looks pretty good. Alright, now for the, just so that we get even more differentiation, between these two. Yeah, so I just want to, so this is 80% armor, 20% cloth. This is 80% cloth, 20% armor. Yeah. Let's get some color in these guys. Now, something about these guys is shoulders. We don't want to push the shoulders too far. We don't want the entire identity to basically be these two things, helmet and shoulders. I want them to represent and help read, and as being the two pieces of geometry that will actually change, shoulders and that'll be basically custom for each class. Well, that's what I'm thinking, at least. Unsure about that. That's my pitch. If those are the only custom pieces of geometry, I don't want them to take all the attention away from the rest of the outfit or the aesthetic. That would just be a shame. The other pieces of gear are definitely needed. Alright, now let's see. This was what I was thinking. Something similar to... Just trying to find the right yellow here. Something like that. There we go. Here. There's the possibility also of inverting this, which is like, you know, they'd have white armor or something like that with a gold. I'm just gonna start to play around with this though. What I had in mind was a golden armor with a white cape. So as far as value goes, I guess what you'd want. So when I'd say value, I say something like this. So like if 1 is completely white and then 10 is completely black, what you're gonna want is the Paladin to mostly be reading up here. And with saturation you get a little bit of like darkening value, so somewhere in between, like here, you can play around in this area for them when it comes to the actual armor that's meant for Paladins. And then for Cleric we'll probably have it down somewhere in here, and then even probably go into like the blues instead of the warmer colors. That's my guess of what's gonna happen. It's my inclination, at least. Let's get it's like something like that. Not completely white, because we still want the possibilities for highlights and stuff. There's also the possibility of like reds and stuff. Again, this would be where you'd play around with like the character customization more. You know, getting in like blues or reds or whatever the heck you'd want for your Paladin. Alright. Now, I'm gonna grab in some, let's see, gold armor references. Try not to go too dirty with it though, because gold armor can easily look like, get like some almost dark greens sometimes with the way that gold armor looks. We're not looking for greens. Something like a deeper red, like, no, you don't want to go too deep into that either. So this is like it's an okay. This is okay. Is phenomenal. You get those extra super bright highlights. Now we have some shadows here. Just want to make sure that I get these shadows the right color. When you're painting, I feel like that's super important. It's not just go with the first color that hits you as correct, or rather test some things out. I happen to really like that deeper, this deeper yellow that I'm choosing for the gold. The more like shadowy parts of the gold. I like it a lot, so I'm gonna use that. But yeah, if you're unhappy with the color, don't just put it on there just because you're lazy. That's one thing that a lot of artists are lazy when it comes to picking colors. You always want to pick the right color. Spend time on it. Make sure you don't just be lazy about it. There we go. It's kind of nice. No, I'm kind of thinking of having this, like, introducing this middle tone of, well, that's kind of cool, I like that. Not middle tone, sorry. Well, it's sort of. It's like a combination of a gold, it's like silver gold, sort of thing on the ears, the wings. And then let's get this. there's this this glow that I'm gonna want to push onto this like this really bright yellow glow that I want to push onto the back of this cape here. So it's like catching reflective light onto it, and that's gonna look really cool. I don't know how we'll do that in game. One of those things that's more to sell the concept, I think. And then if someone says, "Oh, I know how to do that," even better. There we go. It's nice. And awesome. Landing on some of these elements feels pretty good. Being like, oh yeah, that's it. I need to get in some mid-tones here, so I'm pretty heavy on the shadows on this. Alright, and then we'll see how this goes actually. I'm gonna do this. Grab this. So now they're separate layers, and there we go. And we see where stuff. That's pretty cool. Let's go with that. A little bit of that. And then just a little. So they kind of like that. Let's bring it up a little more. Yeah, like that. And then what you can do as well is if you select this, select inverse, you can go into these layers, which are the line layers. You can erase those, and then it's really nice and clean on the edges. And then you merge all those down, lock the layer again, so layer opacity, and now you can go into like the these sides here and paint them the color that they're supposed to be, not the line color that you originally used to outline it all. It's just super simple techniques. Someone's gonna have to let me know if they enjoy seeing like technique stuff rather than like thought process and philosophy stuff. I mean design philosophy, not like, yeah. See if we can get this. I wonder if it'd be worth it to, in the textures, or like anything super shiny, to actually paint in the textures of like super shiny parts that will end up being what's it called, like always there, you know, like an arm here, so like the reflection of like the golden armor like coming in, so it's actually like lighter here, like painting that into the actual texture. Interesting. Let's once we get a soundtrack in for this game, or like a theme or something, I'd be totally down to play that all stream. And here's that. white. And because I totally just screwed around with this, I'm gonna do this instead. Alright, so now we have this. What do we do? That. I don't know what kind of... Maybe I'll just keep it as a circle for right now. Super simple. Another super engaging technique. Well, oops, there we go. Really good technique you can use. This is exactly that. You have basically a selection, and instead of, you know, trying to paint around it, you just you inverse the selection so you can paint in, still use that selection to paint its outer edges and stuff like that. Super useful. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Merge that down. So we have a little not sold by this actually, so let me go in and see what I can do about it. Maybe that works. That works a whole lot better. Yep. Perfect. Cool. That works. One of that cold. Then you still want a little bit of that darkness. Cool. Now let's get this. So with the Paladin here, I want him to sort of seem like so like I didn't want him to be edgy. Yes. Oops. Nope. Oops. Is that right? Oh, I think I had it good before. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want him to quite seem that edgy, but I might need to input a little of that edginess in. So right now he's super, like, what's it called? Like almost too bubbly, maybe. My question is, right now, am I... There we go. Now it's much better. Disconnected his whole head. There we go. Wonder, actually, is this a place for... No, I don't think so. Something like this instead. Oh, that could work. That's nice. You come across something like that, it's always a nice moment. Something that just works design-wise. Or works aesthetically. There we go. Let's get that. Maybe actually this should remain like that. Yeah. And this needs some tending to now. There we go. this, I want it to be nice and clean and sharp. Something that I absolutely love with Photoshop is that you can lock transparency, but it doesn't mean that it locks layers. You can still delete things. So going into this and being able to just say, you know what, I can draw out here like that, but you can easily just then select something within that and delete it without changing too much tools. It's a nice, very nice workflow. So if you are hearing that, Adobe, do not change that. Thank you. Not that Adobe would be listening, but and not that Adobe would listen, even if they were listening, you know what I mean? I think that kind of hits the. I should continue this, and especially into like what's it called? Like get in some more details and stuff. But I'm kind of thinking like maybe I should just move on to the cleric right away. It's nice. Looks kind of okay. Definitely looks like Paladin. Good. Oh, hold on, before I just move on this knee pad, let's think about what the shape should actually. It should just be circular. Just something more grand. Because right now we have sort of like a circular sort of thing going. Well, actually, hold on, no. We have a this going on, where it's like it's longer circle. It's like a little kind of cut. So I'm gonna keep that. I like that a lot. And I'll see what I can do about introducing it here into the legs a bit. Oh, it's very nice. Yeah, I don't know. Sucks. Something like that feels better though. This part should probably just be the classic circle. Oh, hold on. Can I get it? Can I get it away with? No. I'll just do this. As much as I would like to, I'm also worried a little bit about like, hey, do we really want to for an extra piece of geo or something? Because if we do one night piece of geo or something, then it's actually fun. It's fine. It's not too bad of a compromise. Okay. Okay. See. I was gonna ask, for anyone watching, whether it be on YouTube or on Twitch, when you think of Paladin, like, a lot of people from the circles that I hang out in, Goblin circles, they don't really see Paladins as, like, let's say, the good doers, you know. They actually kind of see them like, it's the white right there. Kind of like arrogant pricks. Like, trying to find some of the words. Oh yeah, Paladins are the quintessential high horse archetype, where they like kind of push the like they know better, that sort of thing. They're kind of like dicks because they're they always think that their way is already like the right way because they're so devoted in their own beliefs and things like that. So there's less room for people to so like when you meet a paladin, the paladin is kind of like an asshole. like you can't really argue with him because there's literally like a whole every action that they have has been, what's the word, like put into this one thing, and you can't make them second guess that sort of stuff, or else they double down and just keep trying to convert you or whatever, what have you. So maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, because that's the paladins that the people that I hang out with kind of think exist. Mind you, I have a community of like fucking goblins, so I think that's a super big bias there, eh? Let's get the polygonal tool here. That, and we can do probably have done it the other way, so there's like a white hilt or something, and then let's see if I can swing the other way, the golden blade with like a white hilt instead. Alright, let's get this paladin sort of worked out. Still just a few pieces that need to be ironed out. That's nice. You have it coming down like that, so you have this. Blade shadow, kind of like that. Not that we needed to draw the blade shadow, but it looks cool. And then the feet for now, I'm kind of I'm okay with not defining it totally right now. Let's see this. Nice. Do that, that, and then so that I can. It's like kind of getting rid of all the line work that you put into it, and just making sure and defining all the stuff that. I think that's why. Like I go in and I do it all kind of like edge by edge because I like to have each edge kind of taken care of. But I also know some really what's it called? Really good artists, let's say. Really well-known artists that instead of jumping in with their like first line work piece, they'll do a second line work piece, and that second line work piece will be more like what's it called? Like really constrained, but also like it'll do some details and stuff that the original didn't have. And they'll actually end up keeping that in, doing the opacity sort of thing that I did. But they'll keep that in for actual detail. So you get like this like line detail and in their paintings, and that can look really, really, really cool. And so it's like it can look really cool, and it saves a lot of time, I think. Do I like that? Or do I like this? What is it that I'm struggling with here? Is it this shape? Is that really it? Looks okay, but I wonder. What if we added this little... Remember I was talking a little bit before about edginess. Maybe that's it. Instead of always having things just fall off, I guess, or not fall off, but come to like a straight edge, you know? Is it possible? Like, should I be doing something like this? Where it falls off and it becomes more sharp? Is that more Paladin? It definitely feels more fancy. That's nice. Yeah, okay. That, this. I don't like that. So instead of everything always coming to this, oh, like that totally gives him the edge that he was. Yeah, he was too bubbly before. I think I mentioned bubbly, and something about it really felt off. Like, you know, when you're trying to like describe something, and you have no idea, or no, not you have no idea, but you're just kind of like saying things for saying's sake. And then I started to think, am I just justifying this because I'm streaming? And I'm like, well, maybe. But then it also kind of helped me because I was like, well, is that really what we want? I stuck with it for a pretty long time though. I want something like this. Where it goes like this. I don't want it to be too crazy. I still want this combination of shape to be like really circular and soft, but then have this bottom edge that's like not soft, but it's like, yeah, it's circular. It's divine. I like that. I like this. But then having this like sharper, like tapering that gives it a little bit of an elegance is kind of cool. Let's see what we can do about bringing in a little bit of that yellow here onto the shin guard. Again, a lot of this, like I'm not going in and rendering like little details and making sure that, you know, like this guy is, like, I'm less worried about him being presented in his final form at the moment. I think you want to get like the gist of it before you start to go, hey, like I spent 20 hours on this and it's like actually it doesn't work, you know, like that sort of thing. So it might seem like I'm spending a lot of time now to render things out, but it's also to give like a really good idea, and I can do this relatively quickly. And then you have like a really good idea of whether or not, but rendering out so it's like an illustration, that's a whole other deal. And that's like once the other designs come along, once we know that this as a base sort of works. Is it? What is it? Is it this shape? Is it not like what I want it to be? Yeah, that might be it. Alright. It's possible that this needs just a little. Just a tiny push. Is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. I don't want this helmet to be spiky like that. but maybe no. It forsakes that original design, which I like. I like too much. Though I can move this down. And let's do this. That's nice. Might have just been the rendering of it not totally syncing up with what I wanted, rather than the design. It's nice. When I said that's nice, I just fucking lied to myself. I didn't think it was nice. I thought it was okay. There was a moment in there that was nice, where there was like a slight hard edge, and then it tapered, or not tapered. Then it kind of lost edge. That was nice, but then I went too far, so I brought it back. Two. Maybe these wings feel a little bit not like wings. You know what I mean? Much like ears, fantasy ears. Oh, that's nice. Hey, that's nice. That's good. And let's get some of the darkest darks in here. Should have put those darkest darks in way sooner. But, nah. Actually looks fine. Darkest Darks is like, lets you know your range of the painting, and really sells a lot of like the value that you have in. When I say value, again, I'm bringing in that like 1, 10 darkness scale. Really brings that into like, what's it called? You can see the full picture, basically, is the idea. And when you do that, it's like, it sells it so much more. Circles like that gives a cool design. I like that. Very simple. Might be able to do that sort of design in the future, where we have like yeah, we'll see. Today's not the idea for design, maybe not. All right, I was gonna tackle the cleric, but I think this is actually pretty good as a paladin. I just came in and I thought, you know, like, hey, maybe I could get it all done. I was gonna take a really nice break for Christmas, and I will do that, but I might find some time here and there to do a stream or something. Not pushing myself, just when I find the inspiration to do so. I hope that for those that do watch this on YouTube, that you enjoy seeing some of my process when it comes to designing. Let's see. Just some last things that, you know, really screw me up right now. Yeah, I really hope that that you guys end up liking the end product, and can appreciate that. Oh, I really like this touch of that yellow into their cape there. Yeah, all right. Sorry, I keep on interrupting myself with thoughts about the design. Yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this sort of commentary on some of the designs, and ultimately I hope everybody ends up liking them. I'm not someone that wants to appease everybody. Like, some people just hate paladins, or a lot of people feel like a very certain way about things, and there's only one direction that I can go, so I'm going to try and find the best direction that I can. And it might not be the most popular, but we'll see. And again, this take might actually not be very popular. I might have to redo it, but I'm really giving this take a good chance. All right, something like that. And yeah, I think I can save it and leave it. Let's see. I might adjust its levels. So we got a really, really bright night. Now let's bring it back again. Yeah, you don't want it to be too... Oh, that's nice. If I go like that and I hit OK, what did I actually change? Oh, I have to contrast a little bit. That's nice. All right. Okay. For those that did join, thank you for joining. I'm probably gonna leave it here, and I'll tackle this cleric at another point in time in my life, somewhere down the line, maybe within the next week or two. Yeah, overall, starting from, I think it was this. Let's move these guys over. So we have this really rough sketch, and this really rough sketch, and then I drew this guy out, and then painted him up, and drew this guy out, didn't paint him, didn't get to it. I think I'm happy that I ended up deciding to keep this area, like his legs, like actually plate instead of like this dark area that I had here. Yeah. There's some changes that I think I'm looking forward to already. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much done for the night. Thanks for joining. If you haven't, head over to the Monsters and Memory website or Discord. Let's see. And I'll pop a link here for the Discord. It's a retro styled MMO, I guess would be the retro. Is that the right word? It's a traditional MMO for sure. More slower paced, and very, very focused on the classic feel of things. All right, everybody. Thank you again so much, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoyed my rambles.